Come on.
When you're talking about the best artists, it ain't just the music, it's the influence.
Real life.
It ain't real life. Just ain't real life. Street Starz. You know what time it is. So I'm gonna stay there, but we're gonna stay in this pocket. Do you feel like the AMAs? Because again, I asked my daughter, I'm like, did you guess who won? And I gave her the category.
Right.
And when I told her Eminem, she's like, what? How? Like, what songs? What run did he have? Do you feel like they did that to finally say, like, we gonna tell y'all better than we can show y'all? Because I'm looking at, like, I don't see a Drake not winning, a Kendrick, Tyler. I don't see these people not winning. But an Eminem who hasn't been on the charts, and Kendrick's been all over the charts.
All over the charts.
Wins the American Music Awards for 2025. Do you feel like they're ready for the backlash of us questioning that, or you feel like we gonna fall in line? Us as a
I don't think the American Music Awards represents everything about America when it comes to Black people. In 2025, I don't think they care enough about backlash because we don't care enough about the backlash. Because like I said, when I looked on, so I went on Shade 45, I went on No Jumper, I went on all the different social media platforms to just look at the comments of it. And it ain't nothing but Black people fighting for Eminem's right to win the award. When you had to listen to, even on the Breakfast Club, they trying to fight for him. I'm listening to Charlamagne and what's the other two sisters on there try to push that. Yeah, y'all had to hear the album. The album was fire. No, we don't have to hear the album. You don't have to hear Kendrick's album to know Kendrick was the baddest hip hop artist for the year. When you're talking about the best artists, it ain't just the music, it's the influence.
There you go.
Kendrick was the influence from April to April. There wasn't a great, if you said hip hop, Kendrick or Drake's name was mentioned, but because of the battle itself.
Yeah.
So it was like Kendrick, Drake, Future too, because Future was kind of into it. Tyler, the Creator, has always had that fan base. But Eminem, this ain't the 99 Eminem,
this ain't
where you could say he's like a young, coming out of the woodworks. I remember Murder Mook, battle rapper, right?
Yeah.
He was battling this rapper called Iron Solomon.
I remember.
He's a white boy, he can rap, right?
Yeah.
And he said in the line, he was like, Iron Solomon is like that cat that comes on the basketball court, you think he can't play. You give him the ball or give him a shot. He does like a behind the back and does a reverse 360. Everybody go crazy because we never expected from him in the first place. And then the very next play, a brother does the same move, but the hype ain't as high because to us it's regular shit.
Come on.
So what Eminem does is great from a white side, but it's normal to us. But because of slavery, like your question you asked, an experiment of slavery, but because we allow, what's the term they use? Invited to the cookout?
Yeah.
Because we give the invite to the cookout away so easily. If he can rap real good, if he could do this real good. I was watching a podcast where this white boy is sitting with Umar Johnson's daughter, which sidebar, everybody should be on Umar's side when it comes to his daughter.
Come on.
Nobody should not be on. You want to talk about an experiment? It's so easy for us to vilify fathers when Umar Johnson should be absolutely stood by in what's happening and how he's being railroaded by the mother and the daughter. But I'm sitting there watching them on this podcast, and because this white man knows the words, the LL Cool J song, I Need Love, they said, I knew he was Black.
Yeah.
That's us with Eminem. That's us with Donald Trump. Donald Trump got shot and played many men. Now he's Black.
Come on.
That's the experiment. The experiment is like, we devalue Black culture so much and so easy for white acceptance. He's damn near like a father. And we're the child. We're the childless. That's why I say Umar Johnson should be stood for. Because if we had Black fathers in the house, no discredit to the mothers, but if Black fathers was in the house, then our children would have somebody to look up to. And that's mental. Because mentally in America, we don't have a father to look at. So the only father we looking up to is America. Every father that we could have has been vilified or destroyed. So now all we do is look up to them. So Eminem win, they're gonna fight. So yeah, Eminem should win.
Yeah, I think one of the words, there's certain words in America that were created to really just vilify the black man or just in black society. When they made the word baby daddy, whoever the song, that just my baby daddy, when they made that a thing, I think it goes back to your Umar Johnson thing where they look, the outside world just look at it just as a baby daddy. You know, he's not married to the woman, therefore you're probably up to, you ain't did much anyway. Right. You're not there anyway. And it's hard for, I see why Cassie's mother was on there and they chose not to cross-examine the mother because you cannot go against the black mother. No matter what, you feel like the black mother is always right.
Right.
But the baby daddy, oh yeah, you could vilify.
When the black mother got to take credit for these monsters she created.
Oh, come on.
As Umar Johnson is trying to give discipline onto that daughter, the mother wants so much control. Now you can't discipline your kids. Right. Okay, so now you say I can't discipline the kids, so you just want me to be a financial supporter? Fine. Now look at the daughter. And then here's the sad part. In order for her to get popularity, in order for her to get notoriety, she now has to crucify the same man that she would not let raise her. And that's the society that we live in, where it wasn't the baby daddy when you wanted to have sex with him. It's not the baby daddy when you wanted him to make love to you. It's only the baby daddy now after you got what you want, which is why I implore brothers. It ain't about a prenup like everybody was talking about. What's the brother? Trevor.
What's the name? The football.
What's the brother? Football player.
Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Everybody getting on Travis Hunter about a prenup. Yeah. It ain't got nothing to do with a prenup. Brothers, I implore you, be mindful of who you have sex with. Shannon Sharp, again, is not on ESPN because of who he had sex with. It's being looked at bad. He didn't have no child with that white woman, but the woman that he chose to have sex with is costing him millions of dollars. Anthony Edwards is going through that case of child support because it's who he chose to have sex with. Umar's going through what he's going through because of who he chose to have sex with. Not that Umar's a bad parent or a bad man or a bad brother. Umar wouldn't even be able to be who he was if he bowed down to that woman, which is what a woman wants. And you got to understand, brothers, y'all got to understand the only way you can have power is by having rod control and exemplifying your dominance. What I mean by your dominance, your leadership. Your leadership is the greatest flex that you can have. And Umar gave the leadership. I'm only using Umar as an example because that's in the internet, so to speak. Right. But Umar represents every father that wanted to give discipline to the kid and the mother was against it. That's why I said we should all stand with Umar. Umar is the face of black fathers in the black community, because when you look at the stats, black children are better when the father is in their lives, because the father is the natural disciplinarian. When you see all these kids talking and they all sensitive on the internet and want to fight so quick, it's because they argue and talk like the mother that raised them. And the mother is emotional. And she's supposed to be. Like, when we say a woman is emotional, it's not, women sometimes look at it as a negative slight, and it's not a negative slight. They're just a nurturer. The reason why you have to have a mother and a father to raise a kid is because the father is not a nurturer. The father ain't going to sit there and, you leaning on him, crying and boo-hooing. The father is going to listen to what the problem is, calculate the fix, and then say, okay, we fix it like this. The father's going to say, this is how you avoid the problem in the first place. Don't go down that street. Go down this street. Don't study this way. Study that way. Do your chores. That's the natural balance. So when you take that disciplinarian, that leader out of the house, every kid, every last one of these socialites that you see that talk the way they are, there was an old saying that said, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Right.
I guarantee you, because the man was in the house, that's why that sentence could stand. And now that the father is out of the house, what do you see everybody going crazy over? Words.
Words.
Nobody's going crazy over what somebody physically, especially on the internet.
Come on.
But you type anything on the internet, a brother or sister is going to go absolutely crazy over what was said. It's just a word.
Come on.
Whereas now, that's all we do is flip. So back to your initial question about the experiment.
Come on.
The experiment that the white man did to the black man, woman, and child is so heinous that now bring it back to what I do. Without this truth of empowering the black man, putting that father back in place, letting him take his power back, that experiment will stand forever.
So when we speak on the experiment, of course, we live in, we live on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
There's only so much land that we could get. Of course, they always say, hey, won't you go back to Africa? They always tell black people, we want us to go back somewhere where we ain't ever been, don't know how to get to, and we weren't set up to go back. Manifest destiny from sea to sign and sea. Slavery kind of existed all the way up until when by the time California came, slavery was technically about to be abolished, but people were working.
Mm-hmm.
Where do we, this experiment called America, it belongs to the whites. Mm-hmm. It belongs to them. They put things in place for us not to get ahead. They set us up in situations where we aren't to flourish. I see Trump just passed the bill for food stamps. He's like, now we saving that money. And when you hear words like food stamp, it comes with a black connotation, like this is what the blacks need, or the lower class whites.
Right.
You don't even think about Mexicans, Chinese, any Indian. You think about blacks when it comes to food stamps.
Right.
Is there a fix in regards to, and I asked this to Brother Ben X and others, that we preach separation or integration. Which one are we going to be about? Because Martin Luther King was always about integration. We need to integrate into their system. He had a dream where young Susie could be with young Keisha and they could play together. While Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad, they were always like, no, we need Malcolm X. We need separation.
Right.
We need our own. We want to build Tulsa. We want to build Rosewood. We want our own. And therefore we could export with each other. What do you feel is the fix? Because we see a Travis Hunter. He does have a pale-skinned woman who he signed, doesn't have a prenup with, no children. So he says, I just believe in the marriage and love. And if I get $42 million, damn it, she get $42 million. And we don't see that too often. They're like, wait, why you going? Wait a minute. She ain't even your skin. So what do you say when it comes to us integrating ourselves into this society or us preaching separation? Which one works?
Shout out Reallyfe Street Starz, nigga. Move. Hey.